Good day guys, welcome to another session of graphic design with Walls Design. Today I'm going to be taking us on this simple birthday design. I always say things are simple, but I'm going to be taking us on this birthday design on Photoshop, so I would love you to follow along as we look through the process. I've already opened my Photoshop, so you just open your Photoshop application and we are good to go. So I'll go to my Photoshop. So you open a new file, so you create new, or you press Ctrl plus N, and we're using a size of 1080 by 1350. So I'll edit the name here and call it birthday design, or I'll just call it B design, and my resolution 300, and I create. Alright, the next thing I'm gonna do is to bring in my background. Remember, when we are designing, you always start with your background, so I will just go to where my background is and drag it to my workspace. Please, the files that were used or the resources used in this design are in the comment section. Please access the comment section to get these resources for your design. So I would increase it like I have done here by toggling the sides, and I go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. So when I do that, I'm gonna set it to 180 and I'll press OK. Then I'm gonna draw. Please, you increase it a little so that you can cover all the edges. Then I'm gonna draw an ellipse. I'll just draw an ellipse, and I will just change the color by double clicking on it in the layer panel, giving it a bit of a lighter color. Let's use B57956, and I click on OK. Then I will go to my blend node and change it to screen. Then I'll go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, rasterize. So I would give it that color to make it to pop a little bit. So I would give it let's say 300, so that I can get a lighter shade of the brown, and I click on OK. So the next thing I'm gonna do, if you look at the reference photo from the file I sent, the Google Docs file I sent, you'll find out that the next thing we have to bring in, or the next thing I'm gonna put in, is a text in the background. If you check, I always love using the layers, so I'm gonna put in that text now, and that text is actually Jones, and the text, the font I'll be using is Rosalinda Allimore. So I text Jones. Then I would look for the text Rosalinda Allimore. Then I would increase it to 200. Let's see how that comes out. Then the spacing is 0, please. The spacing is 0, and the font is white actually. Then I drag it downward to fit into space. Then I change the blend mode to overlay, or let's use soft light, then reduce it to 50. That's the opacity, to 50. Let's use overlay. Let's see how overlay would be. Okay, so having done that, the next thing I'm going to bring in is bring in the lady which you see in that picture. I'll bring the lady in. I'll go to where my resources are, and I will drag and drop. Then I'll increase the size. Increase the size a little bit. Then push it to the left a little bit. Let's decrease it. Please try to make it to be aligned. like to make it to be aligned with this, and I push it to the side a little bit, then I push it to the side a little bit and click OK. Now I use the filter, and the filter, I'll drop the link on the comment section. The filter I used here was Topaz Labs. So I go to my filter, it's a plugin on Photoshop that helps you to make your images to pop, and I'll choose Topaz Adjust. I'll drop the link, and you can get it on getintopc.com. so I'll drop the link for you so you can actually get it yourself. I'll select crisp, reduce the exposure to 0.30, and everything is set. Then I click on OK. So you can see how our image popped. The next thing I'm gonna do is, I want her, there's a kind of color grading I used in my design, so I want her to have that kind of, there's a kind of color grading my picture had, so I want her to have that kind of color grading. So what I'll do is, I would duplicate my background down here, Ctrl J, and I'll drag it upward to the topmost layer and make it to be soft lights. Then I'll click on it, right click on it, and click on create clipping mask. Then I'll reduce the opacity to 60. So while it's on 60, Ctrl plus, you see how the picture comes out. The next thing I'm gonna do is to bring in the second image, which is the lady standing. I bring her in, and I take it to the side, and I drag a little bit smaller. I'll increase it a little small. I'll increase it a little bit. Take it to the side and click OK. The same thing I did. I'll go to Filter, Topaz Adjust. I'll use clarity for this one because Crisp was too shiny, and I would increase the brightness a little bit, and the contrast also, and click OK, so that there can be a blend between the both of them. So you can see we are good to go. The next thing I'm gonna do is, I'm still gonna duplicate the background image, take it upward to where the other lady is, and create clipping marks. Then I reduce it to 30 so that she can be able to have a blend of her own. You see, we check very well, we find out that there's a blend between the both ladies, and there we have it. The next thing I'm gonna do is to put in my text. There's a text I used. I'd already done that. You can go to ChatGPT, just search tell ChatGPT to give you a scroll on birthday messages, delightful birthday messages you can use for your loved ones. For this one is Belgians I used. I want to also thank Pinterest and Verbal Studios for this picture, and also the lady that I used here is quite fictional, it's not real. So I would click on my text and I will change, I'll just go to where I have my my notes or texts, and I'll just click on it on a notepad. Then I would copy this, Ctrl C. So what I just do is I collect my text tool and just draw a text box, then Ctrl B. Reduce it to 20. Let's see how it comes out. Then let's make it 2.5 because I think it's 2.5 I use for the design. Then I'll use text. I'll use the next font I'm using is Nexus Slab Trial. Alright, so go down. So 2.5 is what I used. Then I'll drag this up, I'll just drag this up, and I think the text too, I would increase it because there are some things missing. Just increase it downward till I get everything in place. Then I'll increase the side also. Alright, then I would make everything to be capitalized. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so there we have it. Then I think there are some things I need to just change here, which is the lorem ipsum I'm seeing. So I'll just go where lorem ipsum is and delete. Alright, so I will take it upward to the side of the lady. Alright, you can see that it's overlapping, so what I'll do is I will drag this down below the lady, okay, so that it can really match up. So the next thing I'm gonna do is to put in my there's a shadow I used, but before that I'll put in my stars. So I'll just go to where my design resources are, drag the star into place, and I'll rotate it, take it upward, reduce it a little bit, flip it, then I'll do Ctrl J and bring in the second star, but this one is upward, so I'll drag it from my layer panel upward to be above them, then Ctrl T, and I would increase this and rotate it a little bit to what I am seeing on my reference picture, or increase it a little bit. Okay, this girl would go a little bit upward. Remember how it's supposed to be. Okay, then this I would give it filter, blur, motion blur. Okay, let's leave it at 10. Then this one down here, I'll give it a filter, blur. I used Gaussian blur for this and gave it a 10 too. No, give it a 5, a 3, and there we have it. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is to create a shade down here, and how I did that was I created a layer, then I choose my brush tool, making sure my foreground color is set to black. I reduced it a little bit, then I just brushed through a little bit here. Press V, Ctrl T over the layer that I just drew and drag it down a little bit so that I can have a blend. Then I use my shift to create the fade I want. It was a nice process though. Then there we have it. So Ctrl plus to see what I'm doing. Take this up a little bit, and the next thing I'm gonna do is to put in my remaining text. So I'll go upward and making sure that everything is on the topmost layer. I'm sorry I would have grouped this, but I just want to be fast so that you can really grasp what I'm doing. Then I'll click on, just click and type happy birthday, and I would put this to 14, okay, or I put it to 8, to 5, then I increase this to 150, increase this to 500, V, then I drag it down to the side, and I make it to be bold. Alright, then I'll do Ctrl J and drag this down, and I'll increase the size to maybe 14. Then I'll put my next text there, bell. 14 is too small. Put my next text to be let's say 30. Then reduce the size, reduce the spacing to 0. Then drag it downward here. I think you can see it, right? So I'll click create bell. Then let's change it to 20 if that's the case, and see how it would come up. So let's use 20 instead and see. 20 is too small. 25 or 27. I'll drag it upward. Then the next thing is Jones. So I will just duplicate this text, change it to Rosalinda Alemon. Then I'll change it to small letters. I'll just go here and impute Jones. Alright, you see there. Control T. I will just increase this a little bit to, let's leave it at the size of 40 or 42. Then how I got the text, the next text was how I got the color was I used the color of the star that I see there. I'll just click on it, then I'll just select with my eyedropper tool to get the color. So the color is FEF3A1. FEF3A1. That's how I got the color there. And I drag this to the side. So FEF3A1, that is what we used. Then I think we're almost done. The next thing I'm gonna do is let me bring these Jones down a little. Then I think I'll move this a little bit. Move this Jones upward a little bit. Let's try as much as possible to maintain the space. Move this up. Bell, happy birthday. Just move everything upward. Move it upward. You move it upward. The next thing is putting in my dates. So I'll select this birthday. Control J. Move it down here. So where I have it, then put in my dates. mmxxiv.x.III. I think that's what I used. And I increase the spacing a little bit to, let's say, let's use 1,000 and see. Oh, 1,000 is fine. So voila, that was how I created it. There's remember one thing, a lens flare. So I'll add this lens flare to my design, and I take it upward to this end, and I'll go to image adjustments, hue and saturation, and I'll use hue of -30, and saturation I'll reduce it a little bit to 45 in order for me to get a blend. And I go to filter, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur, and increase this to, let's say, 130. Press OK. Then I go to this blend mode and change it to screen. They reduce it a little bit to 60 by opacity. And there we have it. That's your birthday design. So I'm gonna save this right now. So Control save, because I've already saved it before. So I'll save it to where you want my document to be. Then go to File, go to Save As, then save it as a JPEG file, then click Save and click OK. So what you do next is, let's go find our design we just saved. So I'm gonna double click it, and voila, oh my god, this is so beautiful. You already did it. I hope this video has been of help, For any questions you have, please drop it on the comment section. I would answer you. See you next time on this channel. Please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe and share. Thank you.